The drama continues at the Africa Cup of Nations. A late drama, 3 goals in 6 minutes. And that's how Cameroon, the indomitable Lions, got into the round of 16, where they will be facing Nigeria on Saturday. This is Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos. And of course, Austin Okonakpa is joining me from London.
What a greetings to you, Cecilia. And of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. What a story we are getting from the Africa Cup of Nations. I have people saying that this will go down as one of the best editions. I still think I like the one in 2019. I think I like the one in Cameroon. We saw this sort of upsets too. Gambia got us talking, Sierra Leone got us talking, Comoros got us talking, Equatorial Guinea got us talking. I didn't even get that, you know. But Cecilia, this year, man, when you blink, you start asking questions. I don't know what's going on, but it's Nigeria, Cameroon in the round of 16.
Yeah, that's what we will be talking about tonight. And of course, it's not just about Africa Cup of... Yes, yeah, it's all about Africa Cup of Nations. What else are we going to talk about? Because the tournament is taking place in Côte d'Ivoire. And when you have the host nation on the brink, and then you have Ghana, who left the tournament in 2021 at the group stage, also exiting, no thanks to Cameroon late drama. And also having countries like Equatorial Guinea beating teams like Côte d'Ivoire 4 goals to nothing, who is hosting. I mean, Austin, I would agree with you on this one, because this is, for me, the best of the best Africa Cup of Nations. In terms of officiating, in terms of the field, the pitch, in terms of spectators, they are coming to the stadium. Yes, they started with few spectators, but right now they are coming into the stadium. So there's so much more to talk about on the show tonight. Yes, we'll be talking about Nigeria. The Super Eagles limp into the round of 16, courtesy of that own goal they scored against Guinea-Bissau. And of course, they're into the round of 16. We'll talk about that. We'll also touch down on the games that were just decided earlier today. I mean, just an hour ago, and of course talk about the games currently going on now. Austin will be giving us updates on those games going on presently, and also we take a look at the games that will be played tomorrow, where the group stages, the games at the group stage will be wrapping up, the teams that will make it into the next round, because Ghana will, Côte d'Ivoire will have to wait to see if Zambia and Tanzania are out of the tournament. If they're losing, that's when they have opportunity to qualify. We'll also be looking at that permutation on the show tonight. So, Austin, let's get it started. The drama that happened this evening, that's how we'll be starting. Of course, Akintunde Bada Johnson will be joining us on this segment, of course, on the analysis on the show tonight. If he's ready, he will be joining us. But first, Austin, what happened this evening? Senegal, of course, they knew what they needed to do. Perfect record. That's when you have a defending champion. That's what they know how to do. And that's what Senegal did this evening. Just easily getting the 3 points they needed and finishing on 9 points from 3 games.
That's right, Cecilia, you know, and I kept telling people that Senegal will keep getting better match after match, and that's what they have shown. Light work they had today against Guinea, though I wanted Guinea to qualify somehow, you know, so they get to play Nigeria. But Senegal, you know, massive control of the game. You know, execution was almost perfect. They knew what they wanted. Coach tried out some, you know, new players, and it was same old same. They went out there, got the job done. I think even scored one more, but it was called off for offside. But it wasn't any problem for the defending champions. You know, the Guinea tried, you know, to give their best to see what can happen in that game between Gambia and Cameroon, and if possible, they can go through as second place. But it didn't happen for them because, I mean, when you play Senegal, you need to come with, if there's anything as your AA game, you know, and I don't think they were able to contain the firepower of the Teranga Lions, and that's what it is. They went on to win, convincing victory, 9 points out of 3 matches. Now it's looking like at this stage, if you want to play Senegal, you don't just need your footballers, you need your countries to come together. You fast and pray, you hope, you carry everything you need, you know, because the Senegalese team. They're getting better match after match. They're looking good every time I get to watch them play, how they execute these passes easily. I've been saying the Super Eagles have not been able to, string passes together at the Afcon because of the poor condition of the pitch. But when I watch Senegal, I take a closer look at the TV screen. Is it the same Côte d'Ivoire? Are they able to do it? It tells you the understanding they have in that team. There's this telepathy between the midfielders down to the strikers, and it just make it look so easy. And that's champion stuff, Cecilia.
Yeah, champion stuff. Of course, our guests are ready to join us now. Today Johnson joining us from Lekki in Lagos. Of course, Segun is also joining us as a football data analyst. Shola, Shola, a football data analyst, is joining us also on the program. Let me start with Bada, if you're ready. I mean, the drama this evening, what happened? It's something that this is what we want to see at the Africa Cup of Nations, having the late drama, having good football, and fans obviously enjoying every bit of it. Yes, some countries will be crying because the result favoring one will obviously not favor the other.
It was absolute bedlam, the sort of, chaos that you want to see, sweet chaos, bedlam. We thought nothing could top what we saw last night between the Cape Verdeans and the Egyptians, and how Ghana got, put in this very precarious situation. Well, now confirmed they're out. With 2 last-minute goals by Mozambique, and how the game kept swinging from one side to another. At the 90th minute, Ghana was cruising 2-0, and then they gave away a penalty, and the game got turned on its head, and ultimately the game got leveled by the Mozambicans. And we thought nothing can top this drama, the sheer drama that we saw. But what went down this evening absolutely beats that. Matter of factly, I was already taunting some of my Cameroonian friends. I was already, looking forward to making their lives a living hell, because I was so sure they were going out just like Ghanaians. And before you could blink and say your name, they turn it around. And really, it's champion stuff. We saw how the Egyptians rallied yesterday, though, the Cape Verdeans actually got back. But to be able to find that mental fortitude, even when things are not going well for you or so well for you, where you're not playing your best, to still be able to create those moments in the game where you can hurt the opposition and score goals, is always going to be what defines top teams, especially these ones that have experienced campaigners, players who've played in European football under all kinds of conditions, in some of the most pressurized situations and atmospheres in the world. Is always going to count. And the Cameroonians, pulled it through somehow. Late on, 2 goals to give themselves a passage into the next round. But Cameroonians obviously will ride the wave of this emotional, high at the moment. But let the truth be told. These indomitable Lions don't look so indomitable in this competition so far. Just like the Super Eagles, you're winning games, but not convincingly. You know that the quality is there, but they're not bringing it consistently. They're not dominating teams. They're not creating and convincing. But you can argue there's no Choupo-Moting, there's no Abubakar, who was the star player the last time. There is no Brian Mbeumo of Brentford. So they're missing very, very key players. And at the top end of the pitch, particularly with Choupo-Moting and Mbeumo, you are not necessarily able to swap those players quality for quality. You're not Brazil. You're not France. You're not one of these top teams that have about 6-8 players with similar attributes and levels of experiences. So, but it must be relief all over Yaoundé and Douala and other parts of Cameroon tonight. I actually thought they were out. I was looking forward to being able to say, bye-bye Cameroon. But here we are, facing them next.
They will be waiting for you on Saturday.
Yes, facing them on Saturday night.
And it's...
Shall I? Okay, if Shola can hear us. Austin, we're going to chip in something, right?
Yeah, I was just telling, I was just going to tell Bada that we didn't see it coming. I was expecting Guinea, but now we have Cameroon, and now the temperature of the competition will change, because now it will be country versus country. No longer what we see at the Afcon. And with Cameroon, Nigeria, it's a massive fixture. So everyone just needs to refresh. It's just about to start again, you know. I'll come back to you, Bada, but let me bring you. Shala Egdegbele is right here in the United Kingdom with me. Is in London. He's a football analyst. Shala, when Akintunde Bada was talking, I picked something. You know, he said Cameroon. They're getting the result, but they've not been convincing. They've not been impressive. And he said, just like Nigeria. Do you agree?
Hey there, Austin. To an extent, I agree, and to an extent, I disagree. I agree with Mr. Badar in terms of Cameroon have not been performing. They've been very lucky, and they have not been very impressive in their 3 games. However, I think Nigeria are playing to a plan, and we have no cause for concern for Saturday's game. I think we're doing very well, and I expect us to beat Cameroon convincingly.
I don't know where you're getting this confidence from, because after 3 games, I'm sure you liked what I put against Cote d'Ivoire, but don't tell me you weren't kissing your teeth in that game against Guinea-Bissau.
Okay, regarding Guinea-Bissau, let's put a few things straight. Number one, Pesero rested a few players. There were up to 5 starting players that didn't play against Guinea-Bissau. I can name them. Ekon, the team captain, didn't play. Iwobi started on the bench. Lukman, who's been the most creative player for our team, was on the bench. Taidu, starting left back, was on the bench. So he used his game to test out a few players. It was the first time that Bright Osei Samuel got to start. It was also the first time Moses Simon came back into the starting 11. So there's nothing for us to be afraid of here. We have the most clean sheets in the whole entire tournament. Our goalkeeper has been the best goalkeeper in the tournament. Before this tournament, on this same chat, we were talking about our goalkeeper fears and how we weren't sure what we were going to do with the goalkeeper. Nobody's talking about the goalkeeper anymore. The defense has been very, 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 very stingy. No team in this whole entire tournament has conceded less goals than us. We've played 3 games. We haven't lost a game. So what are we complaining about?
Let's see. But before Cecilia takes it, let me come to you. And when you said what you said about, yes, they're getting the results, but they've not been, convincing enough, something struck. Now, when 2 not so convincing team meets in the round of 16, what should we expect?
Something has to give. The question he asked was where I was going to start from. Like, what are we complaining? Why are we complaining? What are we complaining about? I can name a few things we have every legitimate reason to complain about. Nigeria at the Cup of Nations is like Brazil at the FIFA World Cup. It's like France these days at the FIFA World Cup. We're a traditional superpower at this competition. And yeah, you can say there are no longer minnows in football and all that, but when Nigeria files out against Guinea-Bissau, it don't matter to me if it's 10 players from Remo Stars and 1 from Enyimba that are playing against them. You expect to see the Nigerian identity, the Nigerian playing philosophy at play. You want a Nigeria that's on the front foot, a Super Eagles that is dominating, that is dictating the play, that is stringing passes together, that has, a definite way of progressing the ball from defense to midfield to attack. But most of the time, the Super Eagles play 3 passes in the middle of the park, it breaks down. These moves are breaking down. And we're not getting punished for the simple reason that we're playing 5 across the back. We're playing 3 center backs, we're playing 2 full backs. That's not how Nigeria plays. And it's like how, a Barcelona fan will say, it doesn't matter that you're winning titles. Or let's even use the classic example of Fabio Capello winning the league and getting fired by Real Madrid. These things happen because clubs, national teams have DNAs. They have identities. And this Nigerian team looks unrecognizable to most Nigerians, especially those of us who followed this national team since we were kids. Yes, they're winning games. Against Cote d'Ivoire, 1 shot on target. Against Guinea-Bissau, 1 shot on target. These have been lucky wins. Against a better team, we will be found out. We're quite likely to be found out because, yes, you can argue that it's the result that matters, and you'll be right. Technically, yes. But there's more to football than the scoreline. You can win and win ugly. And I'm not sitting here saying that Nigeria has been winning ugly. but we've not been convincing. We've not been impressive. We've not stamped our Nigerian DNA on this competition. And I don't want to wait until we get found out before it now looks like, oh, where has this come from? We can see the pattern. We can see the trend. If we carry on not creating chances, not creating enough chances, not taking the few that we create, not getting shots on target, you're not going to win games. It's not every time one goal wins you a game. If the opposition at any point in time in those two matches we won had scored one, we would have drawn or would have lost. So going against Cameroon, I said, something has to give. These Cameroonians are not necessarily playing well, but at least they've scored goals in a game. We haven't achieved that in this competition. If they do that against us, we might be in trouble. So those are the issues.
I see. Cecilia.
Yeah, talking about some of the issues. There are so many. I completely agree with Bada on this one, because when you're watching the Super Eagles play and you'll be wondering, why are they so clumsy? Why are they making mistakes that if a player playing at home should make that mistake? I believe the social media will, frenzy. I don't know how to describe what will happen to a particular player who will do that on the field of play, and we know what people will say. Oh, you don't have to use local base. So we've seen some of the mistakes these guys have made, which some players here would not even make it. But I think it was a clumsy game. Yes, we won, but it was really clumsy. That's not the Super Eagles really want to see in the round of 16. But let's listen to the coach. He's got reasons. Once you win, it's good to win as long as you're winning, and this will take you into the final game. Let's listen to him. And also, Moses Simon, who was the man of the match against Guinea-Bissau. And after that, we'll have to go on a break. And while on the break, a DSTV platform will be having Inside Niger Delta. Of course, all of that platform on terrestrial, and of course, also on the UK platform, Sport Tonight will continue.
Tough match, no easy match, some pressure and stress. You tried to, I think Guinea did a good game also, but you create, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 clear opportunity without shooting sometime. I think you deserve more, 1 goal or 2 goals, but I am happy because you won the game. No very good game, but good game. For safety, control, you could play better, yes, the next time. But the main point, 0 goals in our goal, 1 goal. If you do it until final, you can reach there, you can arrive there. I think in Guinea Equatorial, congratulations for them because they reached the first position. But in my opinion, our capacity, our job until now, I think you deserve to first position.
Actually, we are not worried, and for we the most important thing is the group. When the group are strong enough, the most important thing is the 3 points. We don't care if you score 20 goals. The important thing for us is the victory. For me, I didn't notice because I didn't check my phone, and I believe my colleague did not check their phone also. For we just want to win. We don't care top or not, because you can see most of the big countries, they can come up at best loser, second or something. We don't care. We just want to play and win.
All right, it's time to look at the final group standing and also take a look at the result, just confirmation of the result of Monday in Group A. So I'll start with the results: Equatorial Guinea and Cote d'Ivoire. That's the shock of the tournament. 4 goals to nothing. Host nation in front of their fans conceding 4 goals. Well, we've seen host nations actually concede more than that. Brazil and Germany, if you remember. All right. Austin was actually there at that World Cup. Guinea-Bissau and Nigeria, as Nigeria needed this. And of course, that's how they finished second in the group. Now, let's take a look at Group A table at the end of the group games. Equatorial Guinea finished top after 3 games. They had 2 wins, 1 draw, and they did not lose a game. At the end, they got 7 points, a goal difference of 6. And you have Nigeria second after 3 games, 2 wins, 1 draw, no loss, and goal difference of 2. And of course, same number of points. And Equatorial Guinea had to make this one based on the 4 goals against Cote d'Ivoire and also the 4-1 against Guinea-Bissau. Cote d'Ivoire finishing third. So they're waiting in the wings to see if they can be one of the lucky losers to get into round of 16. That's the Zambia and the Tanzania game. We'll decide. Zambia will be up against, well, Morocco. And of course, Tanzania were up against DR Congo. If these two teams don't survive, so that means Cote d'Ivoire will have a chance of making it into the round of 16. And Guinea-Bissau, of course, they came here, did all the things they needed to do, head on for Nigeria match, but somehow it wasn't enough for them. And so they're leaving the tournament pointless. So Cote d'Ivoire got a chance here. Let me go to Shola. I mean, Shola, you mentioned that with the way Nigeria is playing, I mean, there is no cause for alarm. But if you check the way teams have been playing, Morocco, for instance, Senegal, Morocco, Senegal, and even Equatorial Guinea, then you look at the Blue Sharks, Cape Verde, the way they've been playing, if a Nigerian team, we are able to scale through Cameroon, who are also not playing well on Saturday. The team, the way we are playing now, can we also continue like that against the countries I just mentioned?
Yes, that's a very good question. One thing I'd like to highlight is that in terms of performance, we are actually playing very well. We are creating a lot of chances. As at match day 2, we had actually created the most chances in the whole tournament, and Lookman had the highest expected assists in the whole tournament. So what I'm trying to explain here is Nigeria's issue isn't performance. Nigeria's issue is finishing. So we've had our striker, our African Player of the Year, Victor Osimhen. He's had a lot of chances, and he just hasn't had his shooting boots. But he's a quality player. So if we continue with the way that we're playing, the goals will come. That's what I'm saying here. We're not playing bad. We're not conceding. We create more chances than the teams that we're playing against. It's just conversion. We're not finishing off our chances. And with a player like Victor Osimhen, with time, the goals will come.
All right, Bada, let me quickly ask you this before we move to the Group B and look at their results. He just mentioned that we are playing well. What are some of the changes you feel that Coach Peseiro can do to ensure that we play better? Because I know you are not comfortable with the 5 defenders at the back. Nigeria playing against Guinea-Bissau using 5 defenders. That's kind of funny.
It's funny. It's almost, before now, inconceivable that Nigeria would go into a game not looking to, sort of get on the front foot. When you play a three-man defense, well, when you have the ball, the 2 wing backs bomb forward. So there's 3 center halves that you have stretching themselves out and covering the spaces. You then have 2 defensively minded central midfielders in front of them. Essentially, you have 7 men when you don't have the ball who, are defensive players. And then when you have the ball, the challenge you have is that those 7, except for the fullbacks, Olaino and Zaidu Sanusi particularly, who have shown attacking, I would say attributes commendably, even though they haven't exactly created an assist or scored a goal. At least they've shown flashes of brilliance in the attacking third. But at this level of the competition, what you want is that people are actually creating chances and scoring them. We played in the same group as Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea scored 9 goals. We scored 3. We played the same opposition. One Equatorial Guinean has 5 goals. The African Footballer of the Year has 1 goal. And you can look at all these statistics, expected goals, expected assists, and all that, and think, oh, yeah, we're not doing badly. But if you're not getting those chances you're creating on target, you're not doing anything as far as I'm concerned. We had 1 shot on target in the last 2 games. That's worrying. It doesn't matter to me if you created 50 chances on the breakaway. Most of the chances that are being picked up in the stats are half chances at best. Yeah. Some of the misses that people are saying Osimhen is guilty of, they weren't glaring chances. He's missed about 2 glaring chances. Some of them are half chances. The header he missed in the last game yesterday, not a lot of strikers in world football will score that because it was a half chance. The ball over the top that he tried his absolute best to get his head on wasn't tailor-measured. It wasn't the cross that a striker should be finishing. Yeah. So you've got to be creating better chances. There are chances, the chances that the Equatorial Guineans are creating are hard to miss. It's almost impossible to miss them. The chances that the Cape Verde national team is creating, they are hard to miss. They are clear chances clear goal-scoring chances, not half chances, not, a shot from 30 yards. The way we are playing right now, if we play a team, and I suspect that's what the Cameroonians will do, I can coach a team to beat that Nigerian team. Easy. I'm just going to sit back and give them the ball, and they're not going to know what to do with it. So you play counter-attacking football, we're going to sit deep and ask you to come get us, and we're going to pick you apart. And that's my worry. If we play Cameroon that exact same way, 7 defensive-minded players in the starting 11, they will have moments when the quality of the players they have will count, and they will score and will not be able to score more than 1 goal at best.
Most important thing is
you won't be able to get the coaching license before we play Cameroon. So
I'm doing my badges, by the way. I'm doing my badges, by the way.
I know, but it won't be ready by the time we're playing Cameroon. So that's good music for us, Cecilia.
All right, let's take a look at the Group B, because I know we can spend the rest of tonight talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We still have a lot of time to talk about them because the game is still Saturday. We'll dedicate Friday to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, let's take a look at Group B results coming from there. Cape Verde and Egypt. Of course, this was an end-to-end game, ended 2-2. Egyptians thought they've won it, but somehow Cape Verdeans, trust them, these guys just want to get all 3 points. And of course, they couldn't do that. By the end of the day, it ended 2-2. And Mozambique and Ghana. Now, this is the match of the moment. How do you take 2 goals lead? I mean, Austin, I'll hand this over to you. How do you take 2 goals lead? At 90 minutes, you're still 2 goals up, and somehow you blink, and then it's another result. I mean, he already has a story concerning the Cape Verde and Egypt. He already wrote 2-1. I mean, was ready to let the story fly for the user 10 last night, but somehow he was caught and he was told that, hey, he's now 2-2. That's how interesting it is last night, Austin.
Cecilia, if I was Ghanaian and you asking me to talk about this, I was like, Chala, you're not supposed to do me like this now. Because Ghanaians will struggle. They are so pissed. I've been calling my Ghanaian journalist friend since yesterday. I just want to say, I'm sorry this has happened. He hasn't picked my call. They are journalists in Abidjan. They had to block the bus to say they just want these guys to come and explain. I think about 3 Afcons now, no win. That's preposterous. You can't even believe that this is happening to the Black Stars of Ghana. If you check the first game, I think they were supposed to lose that game against Cape Verde. They did lose it. Second game, they were supposed to go on to win. I think they drew that one against Egypt. And now again against Mozambique, when you thought that it was done and dusted. Look at that. Just everyone, same with me. I just went to the kitchen to grab a drink. I came back, it was 2-2. I said, this year's Afcon, just kill me. I asked for upset, and it is giving me heart attack, So this is very difficult. I think first thing first, now they know that Ghanaian football need to get into a state of emergency. Unfortunately, Chris Hilton and his team, they need to just step aside. The FA now needs to come out and be very transparent and try not to interfere with the development of football in the country. For a team that now that's why it's so painful. How did Ghana come to rob Nigeria of the World Cup tickets? As bad as Ghana is, it's a team that couldn't beat Comoros at the last edition of the Afcon. Now they couldn't even get out of their group when they had all the opportunity to get out of it. But it tells you that football in Africa is changing. It's growing. I love it. And I just hope that we'll continue to get these beautiful stories to tell about the development of football in Africa.
Let me quickly run through the standing at the Group B before I go to Bada and Shola. All right, Cape Verde finished with 7 points. It could have been all. They could have collected everything, but somehow the Egyptians didn't agree to that. Now, Egypt, out of 3 games they played, they had 3 points. And that means they drew all their games and same scoreline. Now, interesting is that 2-2 in the first game, 2-2 in the second one, and 2-2 in the third one. Considered 6 goals and scoring 6. That's the Pharaohs of Egypt who have won the tournament 7 times. Ghana, of course, after 3 games, they're going home with 2 points because they drew 2 and they lost 1. Mozambique also going home with 2 points, also drawing 2 and losing one. They did not win any game. So for Egypt, Ghana, Mozambique, none of them won a single game in the Group B standings. Only Cape Verde won, and they won 2. But when the draw was done and you saw this group, what went through your mind? I believe you already had a team that would qualify into the round of 16. Oh, Shola?
Oh, we lost Badra, but let me just throw that same question to you, Shola. When the draw was made, if you take a look at that Group B, that had Ghana, that had Cape Verde, Mozambique, and Egypt, would you have thought that it would end the way it did?
No, most definitely not. I expected Ghana and Egypt to qualify, but Cape Verde have really been one of the best teams in the tournament. It's been a huge surprise. That's one of the teams that I think deserves everybody's respect now.
I totally agree with you. Bada is back again. Bada, if you take a look at some of the group tables, I'm waiting for tomorrow's round of matches to be done. Would you, your wildest imagination, particularly if you take a look at that Group A table that had Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, who would have thought that it would be Equatorial Guinea? If you take a look at Group B that had Egypt and Ghana, who would have thought that it would be Cape Verde that would top it? Crazy times in African football, Bada.
Yeah, but we had telltale signs from the last edition. Both these teams you mentioned had a very, very good tournament the last time out. So they're basically just building on top of what they had done the last time. Same team, essentially. The continuity is helping out. You can tell the difference between them and most of the other teams in the competition. They play very cohesive football. They understand their patterns. They understand how they want to move the ball out from defense into midfield into attack. The Cape Verde team, particularly for me, has been outstanding. Solid in defense, very creative in midfield, and lethal in attack. They've got just the right ingredients for a great team, and they've also got physically fit players who can last the distance. They've got players with great engines on them. Yesterday, we thought eventually the Egyptians had won them out, but then they still found enough quality and tenacity to go forward and create one more chance, and they took that opportunity and tied the game. So a lot of surprises, but those surprises are traceable to consistent building, traceable to solid planning. These teams, have what Nigeria doesn't, which is organization, just being able to organize themselves and optimize the minimal resources that they've got at their disposal. And they deserve every respect that, I think they've earned on the back of the solid performances they put up so far in this competition.
Interesting. All right, let's go straight to Group E. That is the final round of group games that will be taking place on Wednesday. Start off with Mali and Namibia. They will be in action, and that will be followed by South Africa and Tunisia. Now we'll go straight to Group F, the final round of matches in Group F. Tanzania and DR Congo will be in action, and Zambia and Morocco will also be in action. This group will decide the fate of, who, the host nation, Cote d'Ivoire. Everyone wants to see the Ivorian in the round of 16 and even up to the semi-finals because they want fans to keep coming to the stadium. But if you already got your ticket, you obviously don't want to allow it to waste. But let's go to the one of South Africa. The South Africans started not in a good way after that loss, but then somehow they were able to bounce back, and the chances of them getting into the round of 16 is now very high. The South Africans, have they really covered themselves in glory in the tournament so far?
First game was a mishap. Second one wasn't. I thought they stamped the authority on the second game against Namibia. It was a local derby of some sort. These two teams have met God knows how many times. And going into that game head-to-head, the South Africans had won most of the games that they had played. And so they drew on a lot of confidence from their pedigree against the opposition. And on the day, they set their stalls out early. They were quick off the mark. They bossed the game in every phase. There was only one team in that game, and that was South Africa. Namibia couldn't get a kick. By halftime, they were already 3 goals up, and added one other goal late on. So, I mean, if it's that South Africa that shows up in the final game against Tunisia, who themselves have been underwhelming for the most part in this competition, there would only be one winner, and it will be the Bafana. They looked really solid. They were very confident. Percy Tau, who missed the penalty in the first game, more than made up for it with his tireless running all through that game, through the middle, down the wings. Their passing was a lot better. They were knitting it together quite nicely, especially in the middle of the pack. And once, in transition, when the opposition's attacks broke down, the transition was quick fire. They got the ball very quickly from midfield into attack, and their decision making this time was a lot better. The final balls were top quality. The finishing was bang on. Everything they did against Namibia just went in their favor. And if they put on anything close to that kind of performance against Tunisia will have no chance. The Tunisians haven't done anything in this competition, in my own opinion. Lost the first game. I think they played a draw against Mali. It was a battling draw performance. They're not vintage Tunisia. They haven't played like the typical North African superpower that we've known in this competition over the years. And if I were to call the game, I'd call it in favor of South Africa. I think the South Africans will win it and progress from this group. And in the other game, of course, Mali would make light work of the Namibians and also progress.
I like the way you've said it with confidence. Despite everything that has happened at this tournament, you come out and give us sort of confidence. That group is still open, Group E, because Mali tops it with 4 points. South Africa is second with 3 points. Namibia 3 points, and Tunisia 1. Who would have thought about that? Let me quickly give you updates what's going on in Group D. Live matches going on. It's Angola 1, Burkina Faso 0, Mauritania 1, Algeria 0. So if it ends this way in Group D, it's going to be Angola and Burkina Faso that will advance. But Algeria, again, having a very terrible tournament. Last edition, it was a disgraceful tournament, and now it is happening again. I know Shala wants to leave, but if I tell him to talk about Algeria now, he won't. He just wants to talk about Nigeria. So Shala, let's get your parting words. Nigeria, Cameroon on Saturday. Do you want to make a bold prediction before we let you go?
Nigeria, Cameroon, I've got no doubt that Nigeria will win. We'll come back on the show and we'll be analysing our great result. In terms of the score, I'll go with a 2-1. 2-1.
Thank you so much, Shala Degbele. You know me, if it doesn't happen, I'll just call you. I'll just talk about it. Thank you so much for your time on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Cecilia, it's been drama and more drama at the Afcon.
Yeah, Algeria, you mentioned 2019 they won the tournament, and 2021 they exited at the group stage, and now they're on the verge of having that again. They haven't won a match yet, just like Tunisia, 1 draw, and they've lost 1. And Group D, of course, a very, very open. Group E is also another open group. But Group F, yes, let's go to that one. That's where Bada will come in. Morocco, they already qualified. Yes, you would say they've qualified because of the points they have. DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania complete that. Bada, the Moroccan team, a quick one on them. They will be up against, of course, a Zambia team who the coach has been saying, yes, Morocco had the very best of teams, but then can they survive them to stay in the tournament? And by that, they will be sending Côte d'Ivoire home. Or Côte d'Ivoire will be exiting the tournament and stay home.
I think we've lost Bada Cecilia. Hopefully he will come back on, give his thoughts about that group, and then we'll say goodbye. But just a quick one, just before Bada comes in. Cecilia, it seems again that that group F is also still open. Anything can happen. Yeah. After 2 matches, Morocco is on top with 4 points. DR Congo has got 2 points. Zambia 2 points. And Tanzania 1 point. You know, and I've said it over and over again. This is not the Afcon where we can just come out and say the things I was saying. Like, for instance, I quickly judged with the way Morocco performed against Tanzania, and I thought they were going to have it easy against DR Congo, and it wasn't when that game ended 1-1. So, Cecilia, it's very difficult to make predictions at this Afcon. I'm sure you agree.
You know you love upset. You got loads and loads of those. Anyway, you said you had a heart attack in that one. That's what you deserve when you're looking for something and you're getting doses and doses of it. But then if you ask me, I think the Moroccans, they know what to do in this tournament. If you check what the Tanzania did to them, they set up blocks and blocks and blocks, but somehow they were able to break that. And then Hakim Ziyech, when you have Hakim Ziyech who can actually call a free kick from anywhere and get into, get the ball right there to where you have a good finisher, they'll always know how to finish up. That's what they've been able to do in their last 2 games. If they're able to do that also against Zambia, I think they will be able to get something out of that. Austin, before we go, maybe you just quickly give them results. What's currently going on? Still same scoreline? And who is going through?
Yeah, same scoreline in that game currently being played. Angola 1, Burkina Faso 0. We're just approaching halftime in that one, and it's still Mauritania 1 and Algeria 0. I know it's all about the Afcon, but we've got some Chelsea fans who are, having their eyes on that second leg EFL Cup tie against Middlesbrough. Chelsea fans, don't worry. It's Chelsea 4, Middlesbrough 0. They will definitely go to the final. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, we have to go. And of course, we'll leave you with visuals coming from Tom Saintfiet. That's the coach of Zambia, how he will set up against Morocco. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a good night's rest.
We need these points because we want to qualify. But Morocco is a fantastic team. I watched almost all the game in the World Cup. I was in Qatar and Doha. I watch the games now. The best team in Africa, no doubt. A lot of good players, a good coach. They're playing fantastic football, so it will be very difficult, but I never gave up about any game. So I'll continue with this even tomorrow. I think in any case, Morocco is better than us on the paper. No doubt about this. I'm the last one that will ignore it. But I think we have a good group of players. They show it on the pitch. Also, Congo is better than us on the paper, and we did 1-1. To be honest, I didn't see any weaknesses. The goalkeeper is fantastic. The striker is very good. Midfield, defenders, they are a very, very balanced team. I think the coach did a very good job. Very, very balanced team. In any position, they have good players also on the bench. And you see that they are playing in the good teams, which this is our target in Zambia, that more players will play in Europe in the good teams, because at the end of this is what's important to develop. And I didn't see any weakness.
Us as players, we believe in ourselves. We believe that we can go through this. You could see from how we played the last game, we were down by a man in the first half. And the belief that we have pushed us to get a goal in the second half and get a draw.